for about 12 years, I believe. It came with this was a mess, this place. They had fixed it up and everything. There used to be a house there. Pretty much the mission's always been the same, though. Non-kill shelters, homeless animals from all areas. We're one of the actual only no-kill shelters around here. Pretty much what we fight for, our mission statement is to prohibit euthanizations for animals and, fight any animal cruelty through education. We also spay and neuter our animals before they're adopted. We do their distempers, we do their FIV leukemia tests, we bring in animals who are in need, we bring in animals who are sick and get them better. So we just make sure that everybody is pretty much set and done and everything's a good deal, and then get them adopted. It's all nonprofit organization. It's all board. The board members are all here. Okay. Chris Gagne is the president. There was other people who had been involved for years and years and years. Actually, my mom just died the other day, and she had been involved in 50 years in Animal Haven. So a lot of the people, like if you read a lot of the plaques back there, all the plaques in the dog area, those were all dedicated because they bought those wings. They donated the money to have all of our dog runs. So they were partially the founders also. I'm the animal care coordinator. Okay. I'm the one who does all the animal care. Okay. We have a manager who's Tony Cadet. She does all the money, the ordering of all the medical supplies. Okay. We have gotten a grant, actually, so we have a doctor come on Wednesdays for a grant. We do neuters here. We don't do spays, but we do neuters here. We get our animals from New York a lot of the times. We get our animals obviously around here. Somebody the other day left an animal on the doorstep, so we take that. We help a lot of our other agencies. We help Dan Cosgrove, we help River Compassion Club, we also help, any shelters around here. We've gone out and helped people who are in hoarding situations. But we help pretty much animals who are on the streets or have been abused, and we have a staff of 7, and we work in the morning and the night. We are the ones who clean. We don't have a cleaning service. We all do the cleaning. We all do the medication. We do all the shots. A lot of our staff, me included, take our animals home to keep our vet bills down. Instead of bringing them to the emergency room, we do the fluids, we do the meds, and all that type of stuff. We work off of donations, so we have to be careful with the way we spend our money, especially with medical bills. And we do food drives also, which our volunteers do. The board of directors are all volunteers, and they run it because it's a nonprofit, 501c7c. So that's what we have to go by, the board of directors. At this point in time, we really are just looking for volunteers who will invest in it for more than 3 weeks or 2 weeks. We want a full commitment. So we're not really doing community service anymore. We're trying to look for people who really want to do it and really want to clean. And that's really what we need, is we need cleaning. We need helps with the fundraising, because if we don't have the fundraisers, we're not going to be able to stay here much longer, because everything is just so expensive. So we need a lot of people to help us with the fundraising, you know, ideas for that. We do food drives in front of, you know, food stores and stuff like that, so we need help with that. Those are the main things we need help with, the two main things that we need help with. We have an application for everybody, and we kind of screen everyone out and make sure. A lot of the times people just want to pet kids, or and we can't do that anymore. We have a new medical facilitator, and due to the fact that there's a lot of upper respiratory infections, a lot of calicivirus, a lot of conjunctivitis, we really can't do that what we used to be able to do. So we have to really cut back and be strict. We have the age of 18 now. Walking the dogs, we have to also be careful with, because of, you know, somebody handling it wrong. We've had some situations with that. So we definitely have less volunteers to answer your questions right now. Not including the board. You're saying not including the board, just right. I say 30 or 40.
How many adoptions have you had this year?
We are just doing the count now, actually. We've increased in adoptions, though. We've increased 20%, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great. I don't know. I don't want to estimate a number because I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to ask Tony that, probably. She would know more. Or I can find out for you guys if you wanted to. Okay. Absolutely. Say like 300, 400. I mean, something like that. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. 280, 300. Something around there. Am I saying my success story?
Yeah,
Owl.
Oh, okay, owl. So we have an owl. He's black and he's a kitten and he's adorable and he's big eyes. That's what we call him, Owl. And he came from New York and he was my foster from the beginning, and he was like snorting, like, and we were like, what the heck? And we took him to the doctors, of course, and they were like, oh, he's got an upper respiratory. And I'm like, but it sounds weird and there's no discharge and I don't know what's going on. So I was just like, and he was still doing it. I went through all the meds. I was like, this isn't right. I would put him in the steam when I took a shower. He'd be in the shower with me. He stays in the thing. He plays with the water. He likes blueberry muffins. He's like all climbing on things. So finally, we went to the vet and they took a polyp out that was this big out of his throat.
Oh, wow.
And he's small. He's like 6 months. So now he's doing great. He looks a little weird. He's got now what's called Horner syndrome, but will probably go away eventually. But his eye is like a little bit shut, but he doesn't stop him. He's very fresh, but he's got such a personality. And I have 2 other little foster kittens I'm fostering, and they're these little fluffy bunnies. Like, they look like bunnies. They're so fluffy. And he just, every time they go somewhere or they get stuck and they don't know what to do, he goes and he helps them. He like lifts them up or like licks them. It's so cute. Yeah, we've had some pretty good success stories.
Yogi about 3 years ago from the Animal Haven, and he was originally adopted when I came here to get him, to scoop him up. I saw him online and was immediately in love. They told me obviously that he had another family, and I sadly left and came back about a week later, and the family never came and picked him up. So I immediately scooped him up, talked to Michelle, and said, he's mine, I need to take him home. So the Animal Haven was very careful to make sure that they found the right home for him. And now we've had him for 3 years. He has a baby brother, Eli, from the Animal Haven as well. And we have a happy, full home. And what's your next fundraising event?
We just had the Walk a Dog-a-thon, and our next one is, we had the beer brewery, we had the Walk a Dog-a-thon. I believe our next event is at Enchiladas. I will check that for you guys too, the flyer. The Walk a Dog-a-thon we were just also into, so I couldn't think, we just had it last Sunday, so I can't think past that. It's a big event. Alright, cool. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
So I'm Emily. I'm a kennel technician here, and I've been here for almost 2 years now.
How did you hear about Animal Haven?
I actually drove by it a few times because my brother lives right down the road, so we always used to go by it when I was going to his house. And my aunts adopted a few cats from here, so we used to come in and check it out. And then I finally just grew up the nerve to apply here. Got hired.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what's it like to work with all the animals and the people here?
It's definitely a rewarding experience to see them go home. Especially like the ones that were really sick, to nurse them back to health and then to see them go home. It's like one of the greatest feelings ever. And like the hard to place ones when they do go home too. It's better than any job I've had before. Yeah.
Amazing. So how many people do you work with? Volunteers, staff members?
Right now we have, counting me, I think there's 8 people on staff that do like the kennel stuff. And then we have the general manager, and then Michelle, who's the coordinator. And I think that's it. And then we have like so many volunteers, but they're always in and out, so I can never keep like count of them. Usually from like universities and high schools, stuff like that. Yeah.
And what's the environment here? Very positive, rewarding, you were saying?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely positive. It has its days where it's sad, like, because sometimes animals die, and even though we're like no kill and stuff, there's always like the sick ones that come in. That always brings you down. But the general attitude around here is really good. Like, we want to save everyone. Everyone has the same like focus in mind to get them homes and do the best we can do.
What's your favorite adoption story?
It's a hard one. I can tell you about the one today. We had this cat that was probably like 20 pounds and really mean, and he used to bite everybody. He got adopted probably 2 weeks ago, and the guy came back in today with the carrier that we let him borrow. And we saw him coming, and we were like, oh my god, he's bringing him back. And he was like, he came in saying, oh, do you want Charlie back? And we were like, no, why? What happened? He's like, oh, I'm just kidding. Like, he didn't have him in the carrier, he was just giving it back. And he told us how like Charlie turned into the huge lap cat and like cuddles with them every night. So it's like good to see that, because people would always be like, why do you even take cats like that? Why don't you put them down? It's like, no, we see hope for everyone.